Good day. My name is John T. Sachs and I'm a partner at Jaltech. At Jaltech, we specialize in Section 12J fund management and administration. Today, I'll be taking you through the fee structures which are typically charged by Section 12J fund managers. The Section 12J fund charges typically three types of fees. The first is a once-off fee, and that's between 2 and 2.5%, and it's levied on the investment amount. So if you invest R1 million, the fund manager will charge 20,000 Rand as an upfront fee. This type of fee is quite uncommon in the market. There are only a number of Section 12J funds that do charge it. But most commonly is an annual fee and a performance fee. The annual fee is between 2 to 3% per year. This fee is levied because it is quite expensive for the fund manager to run the fund. This is a private equity fund. And the reason I raise this is there's a large or a significant obligation on the fund manager to find investments, to structure the investments, to do the due diligences, and then to either sit on the board or to manage the underlying investments. So it is quite cumbersome and time consuming from a fund manager's perspective. In terms of performance fees, for me this is an area where many investors are unfamiliar and fail to understand how the performance fees are charged. But in the next slides, I'm going to take you through how these performance fees work. There are three types of performance fees. The first is called a risk capital or net investment performance fee. Then there's a gross capital performance fee. And then there's a free carry performance fee. In this slide, I'll be taking you through the first two through this illustration. So if you have a look at the far left of the screen, you'll see an investor invests R1 million. He or she receives a refund, assuming they're in the highest marginal tax rate of 45%. And if you minus the 450,000 Rand refund from the R1 million, their risk capital would be 550,000 Rand. In other words, if the investment went to zero, the only real capital that they'd lose is the 550,000 Rand because they would have received a refund. But what's important is some fund managers, or should I say a large portion of the market, charge a performance fee on any amount above the risk capital amount. So in this example, any amount above the 550,000 Rand, many fund managers would charge, say, 20%. So if they return 700,000 Rand, the investor would have lost 300,000 Rand, but the fund manager would have earned a performance fee on the difference between 550,000 and 700,000 Rand. And this is called a risk capital or net investment performance fee. The second type, and it's a type which I promote, is a gross capital performance fee. If you invest R1 million and that R1 million grows to 1.2 million Rand, there'll only be a fee lodged on the 200,000 Rand growth, not taking into consideration the tax refund which the investor received. Putting what I've just explained into numbers, I think you'll see that there's a significant difference. And if investors aren't cognizant of the fact or how the performance fee is charged, they will end up realizing that a large portion of the profits that they would have generated is paid away to the fund manager. So in the second column, this is a gross performance fee. So in other words, if I had to invest 100,000 Rand, if the 100,000 Rand grew to 120,000 Rand, my profit would be 20,000 Rand, and a performance fee at 20% would be charged on the 20,000 Rand only, and that would be 4,000 Rand. Effectively, 20% of my profits is paid to the fund manager. When you look at the risk capital performance fee or the net investment performance fee, 100 Rand is invested, my risk capital is 55,000 Rand, my growth or the value after 5 years is 120,000 Rand. My profit is 20,000 Rand. However, the performance fee is calculated from 55,000 Rand. So in this case, the performance fee will be lodged on 65,000 Rand, being the difference between 55,000 and 120,000, which would be 13,000 Rand. Effectively, if you look at the last line, the fund manager would earn 65% of my profits through a performance fee. If you look at the last column, it's a similar example, but where there's a hurdle of, let's say, 7%. And here the fund manager would take 43% of my profits. It's very important for investors to understand the type of performance fees charged. The third type of performance fee, which I mentioned, is a free carry, and this is where the fund manager, for managing the investment, receives between 15 to 20% of the shares in the underlying investment. This type of performance fee is much higher than the net investment performance fee or the risk capital performance fee, and I'm not dealing with it today. But this is an area where many investors have overlooked and will soon realize that if they find themselves in a net investment performance fee fund, it's unlikely that they'll see any or significant returns at all, because a lot of the returns will be paid to the fund manager. If you have any questions, here are my contact details. Please feel free to drop me an email. Please also look out for our other videos where we explain the various aspects of Section 12J. Thank you.